So I kind of feel like the industry right now actually don't have a team that understand glasses or eyewear as good as they understand tech. I think a continuous challenge for us would always be to how to really identify and hire the best people from different industries.
Hello,
Yeah,
everyone. I'm super excited to introduce my friend here today, Wang, who's coming with a really fascinating AI glasses product out of China. Today, I'll allow him to give an opportunity to kind of introduce him a little bit, and we'll dive into his background and the things that he's most interested in the development of AI glasses overall. Will, do you want to introduce yourself?
sure. Yeah, thanks for having me, Gavin. My name is
Mhm.
Will. I'm the founder and CEO of a smart glasses company called Even Realities. So we founded the company in 23, launched our first gen product G1 24, and then following that, we just launched our newest product G2 last year in November. I worked in consumer electronics for decades, and my uh, early times was spending at Apple, working on iPhone and Apple Watch mostly. And Apple Watch was the first project I got introduced to the wearable world. And it's just really fascinating to me that once you make a product into wearable form factors, there's so much stuff you can do with it compared to traditional tech. All of a sudden, it's related with fashion, it's related with health, but then still you're still using some of the most advanced tech. So after Apple Watch, I was continuous thinking, what if there's a wearable that's even closer to you that can even provide you more functionalities, uh, and that can actually convert how people interact with information that will be probably much bigger or impactful than Apple Watch. So the only form factor I can think of is actually smart glasses, because myself is also a glasses wearer. So right after I worked on Apple Watch, I was starting to think, is there a place or is there a team out there already making really good smart glasses out there that I can join that can help shape the vision? And then I started to look outside. In 2018, decided to leave Silicon Valley and came back to China, starting to have more and more startups, starting to have more and more really talented engineers. So I decided to just go back to China. But then also from there, I didn't quite find the group that has the vision on how to build the best smart glasses. Because at the time, I felt like whatever the functionality would be, whatever the tech you're using, it needs to be a good enough pair of glasses that I can comfortably replace my own glasses with. So I kind of feel like the industry right now actually don't have a team that understand glasses or eyewear as good as they understand tech to create a pair of glasses that normal people that would be willing to put on their faces. So part of the team, like myself, my CTO, we were from Apple. But also on the other side, I have one of my co-founders sitting in Europe, who's one of the co-founder of a luxury eyewear brand called Lindbergh. So with him, we also were able to assemble a really good eyewear experts team sitting mainly in Europe, and we're able to push out with the product that we have today.
You guys had a tremendous time at CES. There were a lot of AI glasses companies there. What
Yeah.
does that mean for your product going forward, and how does that inform your future direction?
The first thing would definitely be what I just mentioned, the balance between tech and eyewear. I think it's just
Mhm.
really refreshing for people to see at CES that our smart glasses is actually really glasses first. And it's
Mhm.
also not only just a normal glasses. The second part is obviously about the functionalities we're building. We are really thinking about if you have these glasses on your face all day, every day, what can it do to really enhance your everyday productivity? So a lot of the feature we build are also really practical. Some of the usual suspects that people build are like translator, navigate, or teleprompter. We have those, but we're also putting our own effort to make them more practical, more usable. And also there are other features that we're exploring that we feel really makes a huge difference to our clientele. So it's a feature you use during important conversations or meetings. But on top of that, we actually have this agent coming in, analyzing the conversation in real time. So meaning if I'm having a really hard conversation, if I'm having a really hard interview, the AI is actually helping me on the spot, providing me information I might need it for the meeting. Yeah, so I feel like those features are stuff that also our audience is appreciating, and understanding that we actually put a lot of effort into thinking about how the device can help people on a daily basis.
And one of the things that we always like to ask is, what are some of the biggest challenges that you've ran into? So either like your company is very, very young and
Yeah,
you've already made massive progress. We're talking definitely China speed in terms of development. I mean, two, three
yeah,
years and having a product to market, going to
yeah.
events, already working on a new generation, all of these features, etc. Um, but what challenges have you hit along the way?
Yeah, obviously there are a lot of challenges from the technical side. Before us, there there are not a single piece of waveguide that had a higher than 95% light pass-through rate. Because before we did it, nobody actually cared about it. But we said, okay, it's not only a display lens, it's actually also your vision correcting lens. So the pass-through rate of the light needs to be really high. So we putting a lot of effort trying to solve that issue, like really bring down the difficulty of coding, of multiple layer coding. And then at the end of the day, we made it happen. So along the way, there are definitely a lot of these technical difficulties or innovations we're tackling, or we are coming up from 0 to 1. But we're also moving really, really fast. So behind that, there are only two things that's really important. One thing is about the vision, but then the second thing, which is more importantly, is actually the talent behind it. So I think a continuous challenge for us would always be to how to really identify and hire the best people from different industries, and also how to put them together and have them work together in a really nice culture. So I think that's the biggest challenge we as a company are facing, and also I'm facing personally. I'm always trying to improve.
And let's take that a little bit deeper. How are you identifying that talent? How do you evaluate that talent? Are you looking for a certain type of person? Are you looking in a certain type of area? Or are you looking at old
Yeah,
colleagues from Apple, etc.?
yeah. So we mainly divided our talents into two categories, two groups. One are the senior folks who comes in with experience. So for this group of people, we tend to really dissect um, our um, our company into different components, right? Like for example, for even within engineering, there's optical, there's mechanical, there's audio, there's different parts, right? And also as a company as a whole, there's R&D, there's design, there's supply chain, there's sales. So we
Mm,
make sure we have enough of these people, because if you already know that this is the exact team you want to get talent from, then there's not that much stuff that's stopping you, right? But we don't really hire that many of this first group, because we feel like instead of needing too much experience, we actually need way more potential or way more room to grow other than just the experience. So what we are, on the other hand, looking at is actually extremely talented young people. We wanted to get
mhm,
like a handful of those. We want to make sure that the team is composed with probably just one or two senior, but then a bunch of juniors, which are really
mhm.
high agency, really high potential, really super strong motivation to grow.
Let's go into another approach. One of the things that I think is helpful for people to understand overseas is kind of what the environment in China is like, and then also what it looks like for you as a CEO to navigate the environment here and how you spend your day, right? Like what ultimately takes up your time, more specifically into your activities, your thought processes, your goals, and your time. Like, how are you spending these things?
So for me personally, almost always about I think one third to half of the time is spent on product itself. I started the company because I wanted to make great product. Always enjoyed making truly innovative product and I polish them to the best experience possible. So that's essentially still what I do on a daily basis. So right now I spend quite a lot of time using our current product, polishing our current product, working together with R&D team to solve some of the most fundamental technical challenges. And then another one third of the time would probably be um, like just managing the current team in different organizations, talking to different departments head, making sure that the company is moving in the right direction coherently. So there will be time spending on supply chain. There will be time spending on like design. There will be time spending on marketing. And also, I will be doing that thought process we were talking about, trying to identify which group in the industry is the best group to learn, if not just hire. So that's definitely another big chunk of my time spent around people.
Awesome. Something that's very, very novel about the Chinese market, we always hear about like 996 or 996, and the
Yeah.
ability of the Chinese companies to just work harder, more intensively, put in the hours needed in order to bust out new products, bust out new features, etc. Would you say you kind of adhere to that mindset, or are you focusing on different strategy?
So I think, yeah, definitely our schedule is also kind of tough because we feel like we're in this industry that has a really a small time window for us to
Hmm.
develop. All right, because at the end of the day, we're facing Samsung, we're facing Apple, facing Google, and we only have like 2 to 3 years to build before they come in like full speed. But also on the other side, how you stay recharged. We've all been to that situation where there's a game that's so fun to play. I just played like 24/7 into it without even feeling tired, right? Because that's because it's fun to do so. And it actually having a good vision, having a clear roadmap of what we need to build and what we need to achieve can give people the feeling of like playing a really nice game. Right? So we try to tend to share our vision frequently enough for the whole company to understand where we're heading. So it's very easy for me or for some of the senior member to communicate our vision across the board and frequently enough.
Kind of a fun random question. I see you have a bracelet on. It looks like it's one of those Buddhist style bracelets. Does that have any personal
Ah,
meaning, or is it just a personal style?
yeah, it's for me, I think it also goes back to what we wanted to convey as a brand, because you were
Hmm.
mentioning the China style and whatever. I feel
Hmm.
like what needs to happen in the next generation is not only about okay, whether you're a Chinese company or a US company or whatever, because at the end of the day, it will all become really global, right? For example, we set up our US entity or offices around in the US style. Because a lot of stuff, like when we're talking about brand identity, we're talking about the brand aesthetics. A lot of times it comes from the origin of one culture, right? Because your culture is something that really stands the test of time, and some of the true essence, the beauty of that culture actually become the essence that you can actually use in your brand. So we do feel like as a Chinese born and raised, there are a lot of really great Chinese elements that is so beautiful, but is so overlooked. But we think as a current generation of young Chinese, we actually um, have the opportunity to dig deep and find some of the best essence from that culture, and they try to express it in an advanced, not cliche, and also global way. And this is
Hmm.
just like one symbolism of it, but there's
Hmm.
also more that you can find little hints on our brand. If you look at the
Hmm.
temple of our glasses, there's actually a Chinese calligraphy writing
Hmm.
of our company name, which I find really beautiful.
No, that's fantastic. Yeah, no, I'm very optimistic to see what is going to happen with the company. I'll say, like, definitely your perspective, especially honing down into the essence of what you're trying to build as a company culture. So, thank you very
Right.
much for that. And very looking forward to seeing where this brand can go.